y'all. Hey.
Hi. Welcome to KMP Presents.
I'm Kim.
I'm Portia. And happy Monday.
Yes, y'all. It is Monday. Be happy.
Yes, be happy. As usual, I've lost my voice, but we really miss y'all. It's been a while. We've been dealing with, the thing called life. And adulting and children and
parenting and school and work.
And trying to stay healthy.
Failing miserably.
Yeah, so we've been dealing with a lot. So we took a break, but we're back and we're excited for what we have to share for this season. This season's theme is healthy. You know what it is. Healthy AF. So if you share, please make sure you hashtag healthy AF as well as share. So what's up, Kim?
All right, y'all. So
I'm just so excited.
If you follow my blog, you've probably been caught up with a lot of stuff. But for those who haven't, in February, I've started feeling like really sick. I didn't know what was going on. Went to the emergency room, found out I had gallstones. Apparently, everybody has gallstones, but mine are just ridiculously intense. I tried to hold out for as long as I could without having surgery because I don't like surgery. I don't like to be cut on. I don't like surgery. I don't want. Some people do. I mean, they get it electively, but I'm not one of those people.
Oh, true.
So got the gallbladder removed in August, and then since then there's still been complications. We're still trying to kind of sort out. I'm finding out more. I'm learning more, and like I said, if you follow the blog, I share a lot through there because I feel like, one, as a black woman, I don't necessarily always feel heard when I'm speaking to doctors. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I have to repeat myself, get second and third opinions. And yes, I'm grateful I have good insurance and I can do that. And of course, I've hit my deductible for the year, so everything doesn't cost. But
goals. People don't do that.
No, don't do that because it costs a lot of money.
I mean, not goals, but you don't have to pay nothing.
But it's like now I finally found a doctor that genuinely listens to me. Yes, he is a black man. Shout out Dr. Will. He listens to me. He takes into consideration everything that I'm saying. He doesn't just give me medication to numb the symptoms. He wants to get to the root of the problem and resolve it. So I highly suggest anyone that is going through anything, if you feel like you're not being heard, go get a second opinion. Go get a third opinion. Yes. Go until you know that you feel comfortable with your body, because these doctors, I don't know why they don't listen to us. I don't know what it is. I did a whole article with Rebirth Network, I believe is what it's called. I have to check. Rebirth Alliance.
Is that magazine article?
Yeah, I did another on we talked about that. Yeah. I've been doing a little writing, doing my little thing. And, I was in Vogue Italian, online publication. I was doing my little thing. I do things.
In a birthday suit.
All the time. Nudity is life. But I want y'all to take that kind of stuff serious because I'm 32 and I don't feel like I should be having this many issues.
I feel like we too young.
We are.
The stuff she be telling me, I'm like, that don't.
I didn't even heard of this. I didn't even know what my gallbladder was. I didn't even know it.
I didn't know we had gallstones until you made me more knowledgeable.
I was vegan for almost a whole year. Never any issues. The minute I changed my diet.
But it's also those doctors overlooking things that might have already been there.
That too.
And they're just giving you something just for you to get out the office. And get their check.
Precisely. Because I was getting on their nerves apparently. But it's okay.
But she faithfully will go to an ER.
Quickly.
Make an appointment. Like,
all the time.
If she's not feeling well, her kids ain't feeling well, she's going.
All the time.
Me, on the other hand, I will wait until I'm about to croak.
She will.
Like, I can't see him. I don't know.
I have a fever. Portia. Go to the doctor. I'm just going to tell Portia, go to the doctor.
I got
go
it.
to the doctor.
Google my symptoms. Look, this is what I got.
Every time. And then you really think you're dying.
I just don't trust doctors. I don't like going to the doctor. And so, for the most part, I'm pretty healthy, praise God. But as I'm getting older, I do find myself struggling with a few things here and there. But
tell them about your trip to Thailand. Miss Ma'am.
Oh, yes.
Worldwide.
Catch me overseas. I want to take one trip, think you doing something.
I got stamps.
Travel, that's me.
Stamps. Passport, stamps, ready, go.
No, but I took a trip with some of my friends to Thailand, people that I went to Clark Atlanta with. It was 2 30th birthdays we celebrated. It was a lot of fun. It was 14 of us, co-ed mix of girls and guys. And it was just amazing. Like, I was super scared because I've been out of the country, but not like 24 hours out of the country.
Over there.
So, yeah, over there with them. So, I was really nervous, but being that I went with such a big group, and then the people down there were so sweet and had a lot of community and just were really, really nice. So, it made the trip so much more better. But I really, really enjoyed myself. I really want to go back because I only was there for 5 days. Really 4, because a certain airline canceled one of my flights, so it shortened my trip.
What airline was that?
Delta. But I got a $200 voucher though.
Ew.
Boom.
For the trip.
Look, I was going to use it for homecoming, which was this weekend. Shout out to Clark Atlanta University. But I'm going to use that for something else. But Thailand was amazing. I highly recommend. If you have a fear of traveling internationally, do it. It's a part of being healthy.
It is, y'all.
It's just a different form of therapy. I had time to just sit on the roof at our villa and just meditate and take in, you know, the sights. In the morning, they do prayer because a lot of them are Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just nice to wake up early and just meditate and hear, you know, what other cultures are doing and stuff. And it was beautiful. It was a little moist, but it was comfortable for me, and I loved it.
Didn't you pet a tiger or a lion?
Yeah. And look, and people be posting in pictures. It ain't all it is. It is not all that it looks like. Like, it was super scary. I posted some of my pictures. My facial expressions were.
I don't care what nobody's pictures look like. I'm not petting anything.
My mama said a prayer for me
that
before I
can
went
get
in
me,
the cage.
and it's gonna get you. It's gonna get
It was
bad.
growling. I got videos of it growling.
No, baby, I'd have escaped.
But I feel like we were talking, me and my friends. I feel like they sedate them a little bit,
of course they do.
but it was still scary. That big beast that weighs so much
It's a
more than
jungle
you.
cat. It can eat you.
Yes, but I got a few good pictures, but I probably never post them because they're not good enough for me to post. But it was scary, but I loved it. So I just highly recommend, if you've never traveled internationally, do it. You'll love it. Get those stamps. I've heard even traveling solo internationally is very therapeutic. She would never do that,
Yeah,
but
she ain't done that yet. She ain't on that.
she's
She
not
ain't on that.
doing that at all. Because if I get snatched,
They're gonna get you. They're gonna get you, y'all. We went in.
no, that's not necessarily
That's how I
true.
feel. We went in an Uber when we went to Paris, and I was like, "Write your name. Turn our location on."
I turned it
Make
on
sure-
for
make
when
sure
they
your phone
took
is
us to our villa. Because he went the whole complete different direction.
Thank you.
Mind you, the streets are like pitch black. So I'm like,
And who do you know down there?
I'm like, guys,
Besides
he's
the
like
people you with?
15 minutes away from, like,
Yeah.
in a different direction. But he was really lost. If you saw those videos when he was going up the
I was
hill,
watching it.
he was scared himself. He ain't never been over there before. But yeah, it was really, really dope. But we have a couple of shout outs that we want to
Oh my God.
acknowledge because,
Wow.
you know, with planning and just revamping
Yes.
our whole brand, we did not do this by ourselves.
No.
We had a lot of support and a lot of people just pushing for us. So
That's awesome.
shout out to Vanessa, better known as
Trapness.
She did her hair,
Yeah.
but she's look, what would we call her? She's like a boss mommy.
Y'all remember Vanessa?
All the way.
We had her on the first season.
Yes.
She was
She was on our Boss Mom series.
Yes, and the picture you see in the back, the makeup and the photography was
And
done
all
by
the
her.
pictures on our IG.
All of them are done by her.
Yes.
Like she's constantly learning. She's so talented.
Constantly working.
Highly, 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 highly recommend her. Like on
Hair,
makeup,
photography.
where you need to eat with
Yeah.
your kids, baby. She has it all.
Oh, mommy and kid outing. She has all
it
that
all.
planned out.
She has it all.
Yeah.
She's dope, and she does homeschooling with her son as well. So
Yeah, she's really dope with that. too.
I admire her. She's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I send everybody to her when I can.
Yes.
We want to shout out Miles.
Yes.
Young Millie.
Young Millie.
And music y'all hear in the intro. He did that for us. That's exclusive.
Yes.
That's on
One day
us.
we gonna, put a little rap to it or something. We
Y'all
gonna
ready for this
freestyle.
freestyle. Oh my God.
Look, check 1, 2.
Y'all don't want it.
We got a couple of tracks though, so we only
Do.
gotta use the ones y'all heard.
That's it.
Okay? Look, wait for it.
And then of course, the wonderful studio that we're in. Our brand new logo that y'all see down there.
And that awesome production that you see.
Did y'all see that?
We didn't even see that. So
that
we
was
was
our first
like,
time, so we were like,
wow, okay. Show out then. Show them where we at.
You know?
Austin, Texas.
Do Right
Look,
Network, one time for the one time.
One
You
time
know?
for the one time.
But yeah, y'all, if y'all are doing anything media wise, highly, 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 highly suggested is Mr. Can I say
Yes.
Kevin Stewart? Is that okay?
Government.
I
Oh,
mean,
look.
I said it.
I mean, you just already
Kevin
look.
Stewart. Do Right Production. The
Or
Do Right
Mr.
Network.
Do Right.
You know,
You know what I'm saying?
he knows his stuff, and we met him at another Boss Mommy's event.
Marita B. Look.
He gave us so many pointers, and he's constantly telling us how much he believes in us. He's constantly encouraging us,
and just wants to uplift and educate and support those who are looking to do something different, especially in Austin, because it's so much opportunity, but I feel like a lot of people are scared to go out there and just do it or get it. So also he made our logo.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that new logo?
Once count, once me, like that.
I'm gonna have my fur ready next time.
Yeah,
It's not
look.
this time. I have to make sure I get
She
this
just
on.
got it done.
You know?
She had a little sexy production.
It was real sexy, y'all. Y'all, my sis, she does
Lots
a little
of
dance with a little
absentees.
team. I'm gonna go see it. It
was-
was a lot. It was a lot.
Shout out to Portia Rector. She did a great job with that production. Like
She did.
kids and adults. It was fun.
It
I
was
love
dope.
to dance, so it was amazing. And I love to shake my ass.
She do.
So
She's a twerker.
dance, twerk, all in one. Why not? Like, and a
And
little
she was-
seduction.
She was almost nude, which
Look.
I'm gonna support that. So nudity.
You know,
yes.
birthday suit right here, all day, every day. So it was really, really nice. But we have a couple of hot topics we do want to talk about because we've been gone for a while, and it's a lot of stuff that has happened
Ooh, child,
that we
this
really
world.
haven't had to chime in on. And you know, we both have an opinion.
My lord.
So
My lord.
yes, where do you want to start?
You know what? I'm gonna start at the top because I want to again express my sincerest condolences to the Botham family. I believe I'm saying it correct. Joshua Brown's family, and I may be doing her name wrong, but I think it's Atiana Jefferson. All of these people, 2 of them were victims due to police, and one was the key witness in the Botham John, and he was let them tell it killed for drugs, deal gone wrong. I ain't gonna do my conspiracy because I know how y'all feel about it, but
you meant conspiracy.
is that a
word?
Conspiracy is a word.
Conspiracy.
I said conspiracy.
No, me.
Oh.
You've been conspiracy. I make that up again.
Well.
Look, I think it goes though. But no, Joshua Brown, I found out on Facebook because I went to school in Dallas. One of my friends I went to school with at UTA, that was her cousin. And I was like, dang, she posted pictures of being at the funeral this weekend. And I was like, wow, some stuff hits a little closer to home. And it's just like, oh, wow, like,
It just don't
I didn't know.
It does not make any sense.
But some people think that was gang related, or he had some outside things not related to the case that was happening, and it led to that. But it just happened too soon.
No, that's the
too
story.
quick.
That's the story that the media wants to
They
see.
want
I'm
us
just
to
gonna
know.
put it out there like that. I don't. It may have. You know what? Fine, whatever. But we only know what the media tells us, and we run with that. And
We run real quick with
we
it.
do, and I'm not going to make the victim, a slain victim, this just terrible person that he sold a little weed. Y'all know how I feel about drug dealers. Like,
We had a whole series on drugs.
it's a little drugs, it's a little weed. Honestly, it should be legal. If it was legal, you don't have to do all this
It's over here
nonsense.
making people
you know what I
healthy and
mean?
stuff.
We trying to. He's trying to cure people, and y'all out here talking about he just out here just pushing just dope. Like, but whatever. Anyway,
Right.
my sincerest condolences to those families because
Definitely.
that 8-year-old nephew of hers essentially watched his
He
auntie
could have been murdered
get
too.
killed. And Lord only knows how this is going to play out, but rest assured I'm going to be following
There were
because
so many questions like, why did you go through this lit front door?
wide open.
Why did you walk through the dark backyard of why? Why did you not just knock and go in and make yourself known?
Common sense.
You didn't give her any acknowledgement that you were on her property.
Around in her backyard.
When it was a wellness check. You did more harm than any good. A wellness check, if anything, I would think you would go through the front door
I
and
would.
knock and say, hey, police here for a wellness check.
I'm going to say this.
Something, because I told you recently my mom called her friend for a wellness check. And when they went, they found her dear friend dead on the couch. Rest in peace to her soul. But those are what that's for, to make sure the person is okay. Not to take their life.
Kill them. But that was the one thing I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge, because these people were our age.
She was like 34.
No, she was like 28.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
They're our age. They're in our age group, y'all. Like this is scary.
And she was like,
and you in your house. These people were in their home.
And if you had a gun in your house, as they said, so this is my house.
I have multiple guns in
It's
my
my
home.
house.
You're not gonna walk in my home and tell me I can't protect myself. I don't care who you are.
Right.
It's just it's so outrageous. It is, and it's too close together.
Why is everything happening in the DFW area?
Why is it happening in Texas?
When it happened, like when it deals with police killing civilians, like that was Fort Worth. The other one was in Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy.
I ain't gonna say nothing, but whatever. Then we gonna talk about. We'll talk about. You go ahead. Well,
What?
I was gonna jump into Meg Thee Stallion.
Oh God.
Y'all know how I feel about Meg. Y'all know
We are true Meg fans.
I
okay?
love her.
She might love her a little more than me.
I love her.
For a while, I would call her and she'd be like, "It's hot girl, what's up?
I did.
It's hot girl summer, what's up?"
Every
be like, "Kim, wait a minute." Oh, no,
I had a hot girl summer, baby. I had a hot girl summer. Sick and all. I still made the dean's list.
Party we had, we was lit for Brittany's birthday.
We did. We had a funky good time. I was able to do a lot of things, and let me clarify something, because my brothers on Road Glam were against. I ain't gonna say both of them.
Were against Hot Girl Summer.
Was against Hot Girl Summer, and stated that I be putting on for the whores. Let me tell you something.
Or the thoughts.
Hot Girl Summer is being, Hot Girl period is being unapologetically who you are and who you want to be. If you want to go out there and have a slut summer, have a slut summer. If you want to if you want to have a faithful summer, have a faithful summer. You do what you want to do, but you be unapologetically you, because you don't owe nobody nothing but yourself. So yes, baby, Kim has a hot girl summer, a hot girl fall. I'm gonna have a hot girl winter.
What you gonna call it?
I'm gonna have a springtime hot girl time. I'm gonna have it all season long, baby. You're gonna see hot girl all the time, because I'm gonna be unapologetically me, and I encourage other women to do it as well. Be you, boo.
Right. Somebody called it fine girl fall.
Oh, I like that even better.
Like, you gotta make those beginning letters.
I'll be a fine girl fall.
I was like, what's your winter gonna be?
What's
winning? No.
Wife like winter? I don't know. What? Wonderful winter?
No,
wonderful girl.
That's not spicy.
I get it together. I'm gonna have it ready. Y'all be ready. Y'all be ready. Y'all be ready, because it's coming.
But we did not get to make her.
Well, she didn't show up at ACL, which I was a little weird about that.
Is she supposed to be there?
Yes, she was on the thing for ACL.
Where I thought she wasn't gonna show up was at
the tour when they did
the circuit.
Yeah, that's the tour. That was the tour she was on with me.
She didn't. She showed up. She
showed up. She was there.
But she was there for a hot 20 on stage or something. I heard.
I mean, she was kind of like, she was more like the opening act. I don't think it was like her thing. She does like more like the festival things, if I'm not mistaken.
She come to Texas a lot, because she gonna be in San Antonio.
She gonna be in San Antonio.
Look, we follow.
We are hot girls. We should probably go down there. We might go down there and go live, just so y'all can get a snippet of it. And
I might be on stage.
I was on stage. My kids would be so proud of me, baby.
What? Mommy, that's my mommy. I ain't be trying to do it with you. Know she can't be everything to do.
What is that defamation of character? Media is notorious for it with our people. They are, though. They are right. They do. Y'all know they do.
Oh, shout out, look, because I love City Girls, and JT out.
JT is out.
Free JT.
Baby, JT is free.
Yeah, she's free.
JT is home, honey.
I cannot wait for the next project. Like, I love City Girls. Before Hot Girl Summer, it was a City Girl Summer.
I mean, if y'all wanted to be, I'm not a city, Let me shout out to them. Turn up, City Girls. I like their little song that they got.
But you combine them together, and it's just
other people.
Real. So you don't like City Girls like that?
I don't have nothing against them. I like that song they have with
you don't,
Cardi.
She don't listen to a lot of music. I
don't.
You know one song, the Cardi song.
Yeah. They did a song with Lil' Kim on her new album, which I did not like. I love you, Kim. If you ever get to see
she
it.
had a whole snap about Lil' Kim album.
I love Lil' Kim.
I haven't heard it yet.
I have been a Lil' Kim fan since I was probably 11. So I am.
11?
I'm all about the Beehive, Queen Bee.
But 11?
She is the originator. I did. I had hardcore. I did. I don't know what I was singing at the time, but I knew I was singing it. I do. I was a little fast. I said what I said, but this album was not the Kim that I'm used to.
Is she trying to match these these young trendy rappers?
And I don't like it, because that's not
she's
her.
Like hardcore feminist.
She knows who she is.
Sexy.
Be that. Be that. Be that. Just be that. Be who you are. You do.
Because I've been on Summer Walker heavy.
Oh, Summer Walker
she
is
been
life, honey.
Feelings.
I stream that album, I think at like 12 on 1 when it dropped.
I stream it every day, all day, to where Mike knows the song.
Okay. Can you put something on for my nephew?
I will, but they don't all be inappropriate. They don't.
What song does she have on there that's not inappropriate?
We'll revisit. Don't be close up on me. We'll revisit that. But I love Summer Walker. I'm going to see her.
Lil Mama is dope. Lil Mama is dope.
And she fine. And what I really like is that she tatted. And then if you've never seen her, like just her voice alone is so melodic. And then she talks about real stuff that's very relatable. And then when you see her, it's like, oh.
She seems like she'd be like a homegirl, like somebody like kick it with.
But her voice does not match how she looks. She's real Atlanta hood, but she's really girly.
She's talented.
She got face tattoos and everything, but she's bad. And she got a tattoo right here.
She killed somebody?
It's
one of the teardrop?
No, it's not a teardrop. No, but she got face tattoos, and tattoos on her arm, but she fine.
Stream that Wale, because Wale went off on this album. A lot of people do not give Wale his credit and his just due. Wale snapped on this album. I didn't skip not one. Oh my God, I love Wale. Really? I didn't skip not one song. I was even like, it's lit.
Because I feel like he fell off for a while. Because I liked.
But he had his reasons behind it, and he kind of talks about it a lot. But I like that he talks about black men needing therapy in his music.
Amen.
He talks about black men dealing with depression in his music. He talks about a lot of topics in this album, in this current album, and it's stuff that as a black woman, raising a black man in love with one, it's like I want to know what goes through their minds so I can make life a little bit easier for them, because I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm not a black man, so I don't know what life feels like for y'all, but I can imagine like it's probably like having a walking target on your back, which is why some black men may have PTSD and not even know it, because you don't know. Apparently you can't sit in your house and watch TV because somebody might hit the stairs and they end up coming in and killing you
if you got an emergency, because
and then they only get 10 years.
The villain. So.
But anyway, and it also don't help. You know what? Let's move on to the next topic because I get real irritated real quick. We can talk about the Lion King.
Really? I just
brown skin girl.
I love that song.
Peyton loves that song.
I love that song.
Peyton loves that song.
And that's not for just girls.
It's not.
Boys can love their beautiful brown skin as well.
Want the black boy joy.
Like I love that song though. There have been so many joke dances to the song that I saw. It's beautiful, but I have not seen The Lion King. I wasn't just.
I went to go see it.
Oh my God, Beyonce, and I love Beyonce though, but just I don't know about all of these real remakes to Disney. It was actually pretty dope.
I'll
just wait till it comes out.
They did not stray too far away from the story at all. It was on point. I liked it.
They cut a lot of the soundtracks. We gotta sing on Lion King, the Disney songs.
They did all right. They did all right. People over exaggerate.
I heard they cut some of them out. You be ready. It means somewhere. They
played that.
Okay, which one did they cut out then?
Exactly.
Because I didn't go see it, but I saw a lot of critics.
People were just coming for Beyonce. They were coming for Beyonce because Beyonce had something. You cannot. I'm a part of that beehive as well. I've been a beehive member all my life. I've been a part of somebody's beehive.
A lot of membership.
I'm a high girl. I'm a beehiver.
You're Kim.
I'm a Kimster. No, Kim started the original beehive. She's the queen bee. Look, Kim is queen bee with her beehive, right. And the Beyonce has her, beehive. I'm a bee. That's like I'm a bee, and I'm a high girl.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I went to go see the movie the day before my surgery. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I thought I was gonna die. I ain't never had surgery outside of my C-section.
And that was a major surgery too.
And because they put me under, like I was all the way under. I don't even remember like anything except waking up and seeing that the clock time said 10:24. That was the only thing that I remember. And so I went and got my will notarized. I went and got my advanced directives notarized. I made sure I had everything in order so that if something happened,
I was like, okay,
them kids were gonna be straight, and y'all knew where to find everything. It wasn't gonna be hard. So I was like, let me go see The Lion King by myself, because this may be the last movie I see.
Girl, shut your
mouth. I don't wake up dead. So Lord,
let this be good, because it might be the last one.
It's all like, God, Jesus, just give me.
Let Beyonce sing.
We live in the circle of life, honey. Give me the circle.
Give me the circle of life, Lord.
But it was
Bless
good.
me.
I liked it. I was not gonna take my children because they are 3 and 1, and I'm not gonna have them ruin a movie for me.
Especially realistic movies.
Yeah.
It needs to be a cartoon with animation.
Yeah, they needed that. But it was dope. I liked it. I don't have any complaints. And I saw the original Lion King. Like I said, I think people that was talking about it was just being over.
I'd rather see the Broadway play that's in New York. I heard that's pretty dope too.
Well, don't get on us fellas for fuckboy fall. If y'all listen,
Who got a fuckboy fall? I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it. If y'all want to have, be unapologetically you. Be unapologetically you. If you, I would rather you own up to being. I'd rather you own up to being a fuckboy than pretending not to be. So
please just let your fuckboy out. Let us know.
Be you.
Real.
Be unapologetically a fuckboy.
So we don't have to fuck your fuckboy ass up.
That part.
Because I will hurt
start with the
somebody.
lies.
I will hurt somebody's son. Okay.
I don't want to.
And the petty P has left me, but she
I will
come back
quickly. And I'm right behind her.
Look,
on the side
all
of
the
her.
time, ready. Okay. But I never heard about what was.
Oh, that was
that the pistol she carried?
Cocking, just in case.
I don't, but she do. So
stay ready. So you ain't got to get ready.
Look, that's the motto, ain't it? But I really never heard of Fuckboy Summer.
Fuckboy Fall.
Oh, it's a Fuckboy Fall.
It's Fuckboy.
Oh, okay. We wasn't worried about y'all in the summer, but now it's fuck you because y'all gonna be looking for something warm and cuddly when it's a little cooler.
Ain't it cuffing season? Okay.
Look, we recruiting. Look.
Okay.
Well, not me. I'm straight. Right now.
I'm not recruiting nobody.
You know, last season I was.
I haven't been recruiting for quite a few seasons.
I'm pretty straight
I'm
right
out
now.
of the game.
I have no complaints. So, yeah.
But and then so okay, one I want y'all to know that like we have y'all gonna get mad. I'm gonna be honest. That's okay because we also have the fairy abortion godmother with us today.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm ready for this. Y'all, I'm ready for this because one, it's too many old white men trying to tell people what to do with their bodies.
Exactly. Trying to make your life choices.
You ain't got nothing to do with this. Nothing. Nothing at all. And I don't like y'all for doing that. It's just period. That ain't none of your business what somebody else does with their body. I personally have not had an abortion.
Not one?
Not a one.
Well, I know you've dealt with more
I've had issues. I had issues with my reproductive system, and I've had multiple miscarriages. So, I always felt the minute I could carry a pregnancy, I was gonna carry it through. So I could. But I'm also a person that what you do with your body is your business. That ain't gonna do with me. I mean, my kids or whatever, that ain't gonna do with me. I support what you want to do because nobody has to raise it. Nobody has to deal with your body or anything that happens to it. And then at the end of the day, it's your body. It's your body. Why don't we?
And you should have the choice of what you.
Y'all will see when she get on because we gonna deep dive into it when she gets here. But
you just made me think about something. I was talking to my mom today, and she called me and she was like, "Girl, I just saw a 5 and a 6-year-old walking down 35." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "I had to pull over by the Burger King. You know, the Burger King on 35 and what is the intersection? No, going north.
Oh, by St. John's.
The babies was walking on the sidewalk by themselves. And so my mom and her husband stopped, and then and like questioned like, "Where y'all going? Are y'all okay? Like, why are y'all walking down the sidewalk of the highway by yourself?" And so while they were talking to the kids, another this white lady saw them, and she also stopped. And so the kids felt more comfortable with my mom, and it was like, "Well, my mom, she told us we could go get something to eat, so we were gonna walk to go get something to eat at Walmart, at the McDonald's."
Walmart from there?
And my mama said she had saw them walking like for a minute. And so she was like, "But my mom's asleep right now, so I'm going to take my little brother and we're going to go walk, and so we're going to come back. But I don't want to go back over there because of I don't know exactly what it was, but the point of it is the kids shouldn't have been walking by themselves."
Not at all.
And the little girl knew her mom's first and last name, and of course, and so the woman, she was like, "Well, let's call the police." And so CPS picked them up. But I say that to say some people do not deserve to be a parent.
I agree with that too.
You do not have the care, the consideration,
the stability,
and exactly to be able to be a parent and still support yourself, let alone a child. So I'm all
5
for.
and 6. Peyton is 3 and Dylan is
I'm
1.
all for abortion. I'm sorry, because everybody does not need to be a parent, either abortion or adoption. But we'll get more into that once we bring on Irma Garcia. I am so excited to hear from her and just dig into this very touchy topic. But it's not all about abortions. We also talk about sex because she is a sex educator.
Baby.
So we love sex. So we're gonna talk about it all.
Y'all know I
Kim's
love
the freak.
sex.
So
I just like sex.
big old freak, big booty, big old ham.
So I got 2 kids now.
Look, 2, not 1. I got 1. So look, good girls never tell. No, but we'll be back shortly to bring on Irma. So in the meantime, definitely go follow her, like our page, follow us on Instagram, share this post so we can get some more people on, and
comment because we can see what y'all saying.
Yes.
Hey Marita.
Hey boo, yes, season 2, boo.
Y'all know.
Oh, and these earrings I got on tonight are dope crochet.
Y'all know it.
We was there
You
at the
see
market this weekend, but we'll be right back. All right. So, see y'all in a few. Hi, welcome back. This is KMP Presents, and I'm Portia.
I'm Kim.
I'm Irma.
Yes, we have the abortion Fairy godmother.
Tell them it's
Ain't that a title, y'all?
Y'all listen.
Look,
listen.
that's a title.
Feel how you
right
want to
there.
feel, but Lil Mama is doing the work of the brave.
The brave,
I will say that.
and it's much needed for
It's so
for a lot of
necessary
women.
because this is for teens, and let's just be honest. Y'all, everybody having sex. I mean,
Everybody's.
I don't want y'all
That's the word I
to,
wanna use,
but it's happening.
everybody fucking.
And in the event that something happens where you are not ready to be a parent, why should you be forced to do it?
Right.
And what world are we saying? You know what? You gonna be a parent or give it up for adoption.
At least educate those on their options
Thank
versus
you.
just, oh, I'm pregnant, so I'm about to be a mama.
You
Like,
probably don't need to be.
these are your options. What would you like to do moving forward?
Exactly.
So, Irma, if you would love to do a brief introduction on yourself, let the people know who you are, what you do, and just FYI, it's curls in
Tumbao.
Tumbao, not curly. That was my mistake. So, make sure you follow her.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them under here. But
Oh, they saw.
That's where you got a haircut.
yes, I got a haircut and wash this tomorrow. So I had to hide it. But hi everyone, my name is Irma and I am the client. Where am I looking at here?
Boom.
Here?
Boom, right there.
Okay, hi. I am the Director of Client Services for J3 Process. It's a nonprofit here in Texas that helps Texas teens access abortion services without parental consent. And that's where it kind of gets interesting because a lot of folks have opinions about that.
Of course they do.
Many of them feeling like as a parent, they have the right to know exactly what's going on with their child and should be told about everything that is going on with their children in regards to their sexual health, which has some validity. However, when we are living in a system, in a society where sex is shamed upon, it's judged, it's something that is super taboo, then things can get a little muddy. And when you have a young person who is already exploring their sexuality and ends up getting pregnant and is not able to go to their parent for an abortion, for information about sex, information about prevention, information about continuing the pregnancy, adoption, whatever it may be, then there has to be a middle ground, and that's where we come in. I specifically help folks go through the judicial bypass process, which means that if you cannot get the permission of your parents to get an abortion, then you would have to get a permission of the judge in whatever county you live in order to get the abortion. And that is honestly like the literal definition of the government having control over your body.
Wow.
And that definitely puts things into perspective for a lot of folks, but still doesn't change the view of many where they still feel that they should be fully in charge of their child's autonomy and their child's body. And who are we to also dictate what our children do with their body if we are preaching autonomy and like that everyone should mind their own business about their body? That also includes our children. That also includes the young people in our lives. And so if anything, we should be helping folks access the appropriate information that will help them lead healthy lives versus lives that promote going out in secret and having to do all of these super hard things where we could be there holding their hand and helping them navigate such hard systems. If it is already hard for an adult person to get an abortion in Texas, for a woman to get an abortion in Texas, for anyone who gets pregnant in Texas, not just women, in order to get an abortion, you have to go through many hoops. You have to get a consultation. That consultation lasts 2 to 3 hours, and you have to be seen by a specific doctor. And if that doctor's not there to see you for your abortion, then you have to see a new doctor and repeat the consultation. That's another 2 to 3 hours that you have to spend at the clinic, and another day you have to take off from work. That's already money out of your bank account. Many folks who have abortions don't have that type of time, don't have that type of money, don't have that type of ability to childcare, to have to be able to get a nanny twice in a row, 3 times in a row.
Exactly.
That's not feasible. That's not the reality of things. So that is my work in a nutshell when it comes to the abortion world in Texas for specifically young people. And then in regards to sexual education, that is part of our community outreach program that we have going on with other organizations in Texas. For example, the AFIA Center, which is a reproductive justice Black women-owned organization in Dallas, and the Lilith Fund, which is a fund for Central Texas that helps folks with vouchers for their abortions. And so all three of us get together once a month to create this event called Day School, where we help folks talk about everything that deals from sex, beauty politics, abortion, capitalism, racial injustice, all of the many topics that are going on, that are hot right now, basically.
Right. Extremely.
Yeah. But I know that you were saying that you were the freak.
Big old
relationship.
Big old freak, not just a freak. She was like, let's just call it sex. The show.
I literally, like, seriously, when Portia was like, so what should we call it? Like, let's call it sex talk, which is also a big stallion song. So let's call it sex talk. She's like, Kim, like, what? Are you talking about sex, essentially? And also something you guys should know about Irma. Irma's also a doula. And actually how we met was during our doula training with Mama Sana Vibrant Woman.
Yes.
And that specific organization is who supplied me my doula with Dylan. And I was able to.
It's a doula.
Whew, okay.
Because I want it the next time I get a baby. I want one.
Quiz time.
A doula is not a midwife, because a lot of people think that doulas are the ones that's catching the baby. Not to say that they can't, because if it happens, it happens. But they're not the midwives. The doulas are the ones to support the mother and the baby, but especially the mother during the process and postpartum and after the process. That as much as it could be from breastfeeding, it could be from making sure the mom eats. Because to be honest, I missed a couple of meals a couple of times. My doula wrote out my birth plan while I was in the hospital. She made sure that really exactly what I wanted to have happen happened. She spoke for me when I kind of felt like I got a little nervous, you know, because Peyton was a C-section. So I didn't even know I could have a vaginal birth until I got into Mama Sana and kind of learned, like, oh, I don't.
They make you think you can't.
Yeah,
especially
like,
after you have
you
one C-section. It's like, that's all you got.
And I didn't have any complications with Peyton. It was just they were rushing me to have her, and that's essentially why I ended up having a C-section with her. But there was nothing physically wrong with me or her to where I could not have just continued to labor. Mm-hmm. So having a doula by my side, shout out to my doula Trishelle. She's also the director. Right now, she was a doula. Now she's a director at Mama Sana. I think it's over the doulas, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Moving on up.
Maybe she's not playing, but she's dope. She was the one. I did yoga. She's also a yoga instructor, so we did yoga afterwards when I was going through postpartum. She led the yoga, and we had a group that we met with, which was also Mama Sana. Mama Sana is the bomb, just FYI. Mama Sana is the bomb. Black Mamas ATX is another one. Listen, y'all, we have resources out here.
Get pregnant again.
If you need help, please speak and say something, because we have to be controlling in our bodies. Like, we already pregnant with somebody that take everything from us.
Right.
So the very least we could do is at least have a pregnancy that we can stand by. But that's how Irma and I met. And her energy was just, oh my God, it was so electric. It was insanity. But almost every woman in there, they were all there for the right reasons.
Exactly. And what I absolutely loved about that training was that the people that were leading it were women of color. The people that were in the room were women of color. These are women and folks who are actually trying to make a difference in the community of color.
Absolutely.
Because the midwife doula industry ended up becoming so whitewashed. And ended
That's
up...
all I knew it to be. So when Kim educated me on it, I was like, oh, I thought that was some white people.
Exactly.
It started with us.
It started way back in the day. Our great-great-grandmas was doulas.
My great-grandmother was a
Absolutely.
midwife. She caught, I think they said it was about 600 births in Bastrop County. But my great-grandmother was a midwife.
Right.
And this is one of those things of, like, our ancestors were the ones who helped birth the children in our community and our tribes, and literally the way we got here was because of the people in our family. They were the ones catching the babies, and then they were also the ones catching the babies of the white women who
and then taking care of the kids.
Exactly, taking care, feeding them,
breastfeeding them with their milk, not their mama milk.
Till this day, they are taking care of them. They are feeding them. They're trying to teach them other languages because they know that they only speak English. So, like, if they get a person of color that speaks a different language, okay, perfect. That means my child's going to be able to speak another language for free. Yeah. They're not paying extra for these language classes. They just know that if they get a person of color as a nanny, and this person speaks to their children in a different language,
they're gonna pick it up.
That's right. That's free. But anyways, going back to the midwife doula industry, it later ended up becoming this. It just became so streamlined to the point where only people who were white and rich were able to access this, and were able to just were able to have someone to be with them. Or just be able to advocate for them. Yes. And then the whole I'm sure that the whole hippie movement started off from a good heart. However, like, now this whole like for a while the midwife doula duo ended up becoming very ostracized. Yes, like this whole gentrification thing going on, this whole hippie movement going on under the mask.
Hippie to me, like, because I'm still learning, so that's what I think about when I think about it. But now that I'm getting more education on it, I see it in a different light.
Exactly, it's one of these things that, like, they put it under the mask of like holisticness and like just being natural and all of these things, and it's one of those things like, we've been natural. We've been like,
we didn't have a choice.
We've been going through this. However, now we're kind of like going through this beautiful process of returning back to our roots, returning back to so many of our original from folks embracing their natural hair. And this is specifically, I do want to like do a little asterisk that the natural hair movement started with like 3C to 4C hair folks, and then it was taken by other folks who were like waves and like maybe very loose curls, which was sad. And so now thankfully it's kind of going back to like, hey, that's not who it started for. So so that was a quick little parentheses about that. But then this whole thing about going to natural births and like making sure that we're living a holistic / healthy lifestyle where we are taking our vitamins, we're making sure we're self-caring, and not self-caring in the way of like bubble baths and face masks, which is just as amazing and it is very self-soothing. However, self-care for women of color looks a whole lot different. So different. Many of Black and Indigenous people of color cannot afford half of that shit. Like, they can't afford to get massages.
Professional massage in my life.
They can't afford
Thailand.
Facials and getting, if anything.
Now this one, she gets it all.
That was a gift.
If you can get it, do it.
No, you do it for yourself too.
I do.
She treats herself. She's getting her self-care.
I have to, because it's something that, as a woman of color, as a mother, as a student, as a lover, as a daughter, I do a lot for other people around me, and I forget about myself. If I don't do something nice for myself, I will spend out. But what I also do is therapy. What I also do is counseling. What I also do is make sure the people around me are okay, so that we're pouring the right kind of energy into each other.
Right.
Say it louder. Oh my God. That is what like our self-care should look like. Unfortunately, access means that it'll look a whole different. Exactly. Not many can afford therapy. Not many can afford to take a little time away from their kids, because who takes care of the kids after that? Right. And a lot of, unfortunately, there's still a big a component of toxic masculinity in the community of color among Black, Hispanic, Indigenous folks, and unfortunately, women are left with having to take care of the kids. Women are left with having to take care of the bills.
Everything.
Women are left with having to take care of absolutely everything. And then, so I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but this whole self-care thing came through, right? And now we're all taking care of ourselves. And you still see women taking, now that we know that we have to take care of ourselves, we are still the main ones taking care of ourselves. Now, women are the biggest demographic going to therapy. So we're still taking care of ourselves because we obviously need it. But then you have this component of like, okay, we're doing all the work. So what are men doing? Like, what are y'all like? Are y'all going to therapy? Are y'all doing? Are y'all like actually? Are y'all actually like? Like, okay, so we have to do so many things. We have to bear children. We have to no, we don't have to do any of that. But that is what the
if we don't, the population stops.
That is the subscription of society that has for us. We have to, you know, take care of the households. We have to, you know,
make sure we're sexually available.
You have to work too. You have to work.
Oh my God, we have to work
they ain't taking everything.
Gosh, because now they're all about like, okay, so we're in this millennial world, and they're all about like feminism and all that, but to an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent, they're like, oh yeah, I love myself a woman that works too and brings in some money. Okay, cool. Can you also like take care of your child? Can you also like do some housework?
Can you take care of me?
Can you also like give some emotional like labor?
Can you be my therapist? Basically,
because you're making me be your therapist. You're making me teach you how to communicate, or not even making me, but it's one of those things of like, okay, this person does not know how to communicate. However, I do know how to communicate.
Oh my God, you speaking
y'all are getting the word tonight. I wasn't even expecting this word. But on this word, and if you didn't hear it, run it back because this is a word and a half right here. Because this is essentially what we do.
Exactly, and so many of y'all are like, okay, so how do we go from like talking about abortion and like doulas and sex education to talking about like toxic masculinity? It's all connected. Sex education, just to kind of plug in a few things before we keep going and talking shit, because that is also self-care.
Gotta talk a little shit.
Sex education is a big umbrella. It encompasses human development. It encompasses communication skills. It encompasses personal safety and learning about boundaries, learning about coercion, learning about dating violence, learning about domestic violence, learning about gaslighting, learning about how to say no, how to speak your needs, how to voice your opinions. It is a whole umbrella of things. And many folks have this belief in this belief that sex education is just teaching folks how to have anal sex. When
not anal.
When that is like maybe this much of it, because that's important. Like, we don't want y'all to hurt yourselves either. However, in order to get there, we kind of have to talk. We kind of have to establish boundaries. We kind of have to make sure that we feel safe with one another. We kind of have to, like, there's a path to get to whatever kinky shit you're into.
Right. You can't just...
Exactly.
We gotta make it
stick it to them.
Exactly. So, when I have told a lot of folks, like, yeah, I'm a sex educator and officially will be a certified sex educator in 3 weeks.
I saw that.
After all this schooling, a lot of folks just see me as like, oh, so like you like sex, and I'm like, okay, that's
what they assume when like you're a sex educator,
when they
you're
just
a freak,
just narrow-minded.
They just like automatically go to this idea in their head that sex educators are like probably sex workers, which two completely different things. Sex workers.
Shout out to sex workers.
Exactly. Sex workers are super important, super needed, and as many of y'all don't want to admit it, but sex workers are needed and are important in our community. And a lot of y'all don't realize, but they need health insurance. They need proper safety. They need us to support them as much as they support our community. However, sex educators are helping folks understand what sex workers do, understand their value, understand about boundaries, understand about mutual respect, understand about how when you start dating when you're a teen, a lot of teen violence happens, a lot of gaslighting happens. If if a man wants to come up to you and trying to like school you on like what a woman should be, ask them what gaslighting means to them, and there you'll have your answer if this person is emotionally mature. And a lot of y'all about to do a Google search. Please do a Google search.
She said, please
do a Google search. That is one of the main things that we talk about in sex education. Automatically being able to pinpoint when someone in a relationship is gaslighting you. And this can be in any relationship. It can be a familial relationship, a friendship, but most of the time it happens in a romantic relationship. And I do want to make it a point that relationships are not just men and women. It's all types of genders, and that is also another component of sex education, learning about the inclusivity of things, comprehensiveness. That is not just penis, vagina. Right. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of different possibilities, probabilities of the ways people can have sex. And sex is not always penetration. Sex can look like many different things. But toxic masculinity, gaslighting, where are we?
Get your words and Google them if you don't know, okay?
Boundaries, coercion, violence, communication and comprehension. You can communicate. Is key. If you communicate, great. But comprehension. Can you comprehend what the other person is telling you?
That's true.
I'm 32 and I'm really getting into the point to where I literally just said this earlier, like, what you're saying, I'm not comprehending. And it's not that I'm doing it purposely. I just don't really understand where you're coming from with this message, and I'd rather us be on the same field so that I understand you and you understand me.
Right.
And a lot of people, we like that because what's the saying, like, we talk to respond, not to hear, not to listen.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens a lot. And that's why we lack a lot of comprehension.
But if you ask those questions, if you're not understanding something, that's a step in like educating yourself versus just be like, yeah. And you really don't know what's going on, like, at all.
Absolutely.
So comprehension is definitely key.
Comprehension is key. Communication is dope, but comprehension is key.
Exactly. And I think that we won't ever be able to get to a point where we're able to have healthy relationships until we learn how to communicate. Communication just sounds so easy when you think about it. Oh, communicating, that just means I have to talk and say what's on my mind. It's more than that. It's actually saying the correct things. It's saying them in a certain type of way, because you also can't, in order for someone on the other end, for them to not become defensive, that means that you cannot speak in the you manner. You have to like specify, this is what I feel, this is what I need, this is what I am wanting, and can you give me that? That would be the only you that you state in that paragraph. However, a lot of folks can't do that because why? In at least Texas, there isn't sex education that school districts offer. It's,
really?
Wait, it's in the schools they don't have sex education courses anymore?
They used to?
It's abstinence only with Maine.
Oh my God, they want these babies to get pregnant.
So it's abstinence.
Oh my God, we have sex education.
Definitely have sex education.
I am shocked because I'm an educator.
Middle school and high school.
So
yes, they had you put the condom on the banana.
Where are y'all from?
We from here, born and raised.
All right, in Austin.
Oh my God.
So Austin is actually the more quote unquote progressive city in the state of Texas.
Of course.
School districts do have the option to offer sex education.
It's optional, though.
Yeah,
it's not
optional.
Mandatory or required.
Exactly. And
that's crazy.
At least my
look, this is
in
one
my
of the
eyes, we need it
it
to be mandatory, honestly. But
it needs to be, because a lot of households don't talk about it.
Educating them too. You can't get the coach that coaches basketball to come in here
exactly
teaching about sex education, because
and that's what happens a lot of the time, unfortunately. So school districts do have the ability to opt out of sex education being offered in schools, and then you also get this other component of, okay, we want to offer sex education, it'll be abstinence only. And then as of last year,
that's so
barely some school districts, and it's just mainly in Central Texas and Austin again, abstinence plus is being offered, but that's still not inclusive enough
for
for
abstinence plus. Like, you can abstain, but if you want to have sex,
this is
what's
what you do. However, it's also leaving out so much inclusivity for LGBTQ
They are
folks.
just failing these
And
kids.
unfortunately, LGBTQ folks also need to learn how to have sex when they are not, like, if you are only teaching penis vaginas type of sex education, okay, that's not what I'm into. So what's
but then that gets a little complicated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why they make it optional for some students and some. I don't know.
I feel like it should be in the schools, and then if you relate more to the LGBT class, this is the class for sex education you should go to, and then all the other students go here.
But will that happen?
No.
But in addition, you still need, when it comes to LGBT, I feel like some parents, if that was a course that was provided in high school or middle school, some parents would either be against it or want that. You know,
Most
parental
parents-
consent.
Most parents are
Like, my baby
against
is
sex
not.
education in general.
They're against it, but they also won't teach it, and then they'll try to hide your child from knowing it. Peyton is.
And in high school, your baby is probably getting busted down.
Under the
Tatiana.
house. Like, what are we talking
Under
about
the
here?
stairs.
In the
Like,
car with the senior, and she a freshman. Like,
I hope. Well, my mom
I
already
am
knows my
shocked.
truth, but I mean, in high school, like, every high school has stairwells. Most of them, I believe so. So I was under the stairwells, and I don't know
Get it
if
where you can,
my
where you
high
can,
school
look.
sweetheart is watching, but like, we were there.
gotta get it where you can.
We were at the stairwells. Why? Because also, like, because sex was shamed, like, you're also like needing to go to these like dark hidden places
Right.
because we couldn't go to each other's house,
Right.
obviously. And being realistic, I don't foresee, even if you are super progressive, letting your child
said,
having
Irma, eyes. You under the stairwell. What is y'all doing? But when you speak on that, also I remember in high school, like, oral sex was like that was some like, ooh, you give head, like, no,
and then
absolutely
slut
not.
shamed.
Like, yes.
And y'all do slut shame.
And now y'all sucking all the penises and eating all the coochie.
Which is
But
okay.
It's fine. We love it. We want it. Do it. But in high school, it was just
Reciprocity.
Yeah, right.
I actually was just having a conversation with someone the other day about reciprocity and how that looks like, because he was specifically wanting a certain sexual act for example, like swallowing. Okay. However, what are you?
I told you. Look, have you? So you swallow?
Absolutely. I don't want any work.
Irma, have you ever
I'm trying to finish
swallowed?
school.
Yes.
I have never. I feel like I would throw.
Okay.
The whole mood would be cut off.
In my personal experience, it doesn't taste like anything. It's just more
It
so
doesn't.
like the texture.
That's it.
No. No, I'm good. Just
Okay,
put it right on me.
but
No.
let's go back.
Before we go. That was just a fun question. I just had to ask. Like,
We
I
told
seem like I'm by
y'all, or
myself.
they told you I was gonna be
big
a fun
old
episode.
freak is not
I
me.
don't deny it.
And clearly Irma's a part of the freak. But go ahead, my bad. I just had to ask.
So we were actually having a conversation about that specifically, and my question in return was, okay, what do you offer? And it was certain things, and I know the specific person that this man is with, and I know what she specifically wants that he doesn't want to do, and so I'm like, you want this, but you can't give her that. So it's one of those things of like communication getting very muddy, of sex education getting very taboo, of like understanding that people do have boundaries, and it's okay if you don't want to do certain things. However, if you expect certain people to do certain things for you, then you are going to have to respect their boundaries, and also like be curious and try to navigate exploring something new with this person that you
Or
are
at least try it.
that you are feeling safe with. That's the most important thing that we always communicate as sex educators to our students. You are literally going to be able to do so many things and be able to explore so many things when you feel ready and when you feel safe. If this person makes you feel safe, and I don't mean safe as in like you know that this person's not going to like shoot you or like kill you. Safety, which is super important. However, safety, it's defined a lot more specific. You have to feel safe. And by that, I mean, does this person make you feel that you can be honest with them about anything.
Absolutely.
Does
That's
this
very
person
important.
make you feel that they are not holding information from you? Does this person make you feel as if you can problem solve with them without it turning into, World War III?
Right.
You know?
So many people have sex though without even asking any of those questions.
And-
It's like, what's up? Let's get to it.
And
Like so many
sex,
people.
like casual sex is awesome, but I kind of do want to know, like, okay, before we have this, like, you ain't got none down there, because I want to be safe and I want to be healthy.
Right.
And be honest.
That's what I was about to say. Who's to say they're going to be honest
and
about it?
that's-
It's very embarrassing to be like, well, yeah,
Because
even if like in the past I've had gonorrhea or whatever, like, tell me. Like, I
Exactly.
deserve to know, like, I'm giving you a piece of my body.
And unfortunately, now we go to another strand of things that, because, again, lack of sex education, this is why it's so important. I keep going back to it. People don't get tested. And because people don't get tested, they won't know. And if people won't know, many of
You're going to
the
keep spreading.
many of the STI symptoms are dormant.
Yep.
FYI. You won't know that you have something until you actually check. And that's not for all STIs. There are some STIs that you can get symptoms
Knocking at
ASAP
your door.
versus,
I'm here.
like, for example,
Syphilis?
genital warts,
Oh.
herpes, stuff
Okay.
like that. Because you get breakouts.
And what's that one that makes people smell like garbage?
Gonorrhea?
No.
Syphilis is-
No.
Make them smell like
Trichomonas.
garbage.
Trichomonas.
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 And unfortunately, it's mainly women that do tend
It's
to
like
have
they can
the
only find it in
main-
women and the men aren't
Exactly.
detected.
It's all
Exactly.
moist.
Because it's another one that, the one that they start giving those
for
shots
the
for,
shots.
and they can't
The
detect
shots
it in
so
men.
that they can't get the.
What is it called? Come on, somebody.
HPV?
Yes.
Yes.
HPV shot?
Yes.
And they can't detect it in men, which is crazy.
And it's another thing. You have these men, like, so privilege just goes in all types of way when it comes to men. You have
That
the
part.
patriarchy, you have toxic masculinity that works in y'all's favor, and now you have a body that works in a way that you won't be able to know half of this unless you get tested, versus with us, our body will just shut down. Like,
Right.
we just die. like literally we get all of the symptoms and we get all of the things happening to us if something goes wrong, if something
Right.
goes left, and we're the ones like having to push children. We're the ones who have to, if we do get pregnant, have an abortion if we don't
Right.
want to. Like, are you gonna have a vacuum being inserted? No, you're not.
Absolutely
And now
not.
we have birth control pills for men finally being able to get tested, and men opted out in less than a year. And y'all were so
But y'all don't want to be stepping up when the baby comes. Look.
No child support.
talking about, oh, there were too many mood
Contraceptive.
swings, there were too many like side effects.
What's
What do
the
you
po-
think we go
what's the
through?
power?
Look, we go through that once a month. Hello.
And another thing with menstrual cycles is it's actually super common that for women you only get like one good week in a month, because once your cycle
true.
starts, okay, you got the bleeding part of the cycle, then you have the ovulation part of your cycle,
which is like a week, right?
exactly. Then you have the PMS part of the cycle where you
Beautiful
start
part.
feeling again.
Best part.
Lovely.
So you start feeling shitty again, and then again you bleed. So like you have PMS, shitty, bleeding, shitty, and then ovulation, okay, I'm feeling good. And then again back to the cycle
Right.
all over again.
And that's where you can get pregnant. That's when you want to have some fun and shit.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
like,
flip around and
and
get
folks,
locked up.
folks want to talk about, oh, women crazy, women this, women that. Well, if y'all listen to us, if y'all also learned how to communicate, if y'all also knew what the fuck we go through in society, like,
She's preaching a word. I better be
society
taking
is
notes.
actually like, it's designed to be in the man's favor. It's designed
Unfortunately.
to be like for men to be leaders. It's designed for men to make more. It's designed for men to be seen as the alpha. It's designed for men to not be seen as the sluts if they want to be sexually
Right.
They're just boys being
active.
boys.
Right.
Exactly. If they are, and then you have the whole like racial dynamic. If they are white men, then obviously they have more power. But patriarchy and everything that deals with that is always going to be super interesting, because men will have all of the power versus with us. That is why actually I do what I do, because it's one of those things of like empowering folks who are not part of the patriarchy, because we don't have that many things that we can rely on. We have our sisters, we have our community, we have if we are lucky, we have partners, we have children, and then outside of that, we're kind of left. We're kind of left to deal.
Yep, deal with it all.
That's one of the reasons why
And figure it out.
I preach sisterhood and friendship because
exactly that's part of self-care.
It is. Like,
it's so important.
I lean on my sisters heavily because there are some times where it's like I need somebody to tell me I'm not acting crazy. I need somebody
That's me all the time.
I need somebody to just bring me in. Do you understand this? Am I wrong? Because you don't get that understanding, and I don't like it because I really want to cultivate a society, especially within my family and within my children, to where she understands men and he understands women to the best of their ability. I don't want it to be so taboo. I don't want it to be so misunderstood that when they go out into the world, they're doing these gender role things. Mm-hmm. They're doing these things where you're supposed to do this, so you're supposed to do that, and you're supposed to act this way, you're supposed to act this way, as opposed to just accepting people for who they are and uplifting one another. I think that that's important. I also think that more parents should really, I'm personally going to take, y'all know Peyton. If y'all follow anything on any of my social media, y'all know Peyton. Y'all know Peyton knows she knows what her vagina is. She knows what her butt is. Yes. She knows what a penis is.
It's important to name things as they are.
I call them exactly as they are.
I used to call it a wee wee.
If you're around my child and you get freaked out, then understand that it is what it is. But I teach her what breasts and things are because I want her to be aware. I teach my son can't even talk, but I teach him as well.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, one, people can try to use it against them, and then two, I want them to be aware of themselves and to value it.
Right.
Do whatever you want, but value yourself.
Be mindful of that.
Exactly.
Right.
Safety is super important, and if you are able to show them, like, hey, this is a vagina, this is a penis, and that's okay, then they see that there's no shame. They feel no shame.
Right.
So they know, like, okay, I don't feel too good. Why? I don't know. I felt like my boundary was crossed, and then they're going to be able to they're going to be kids, and they're going to be able to tell you in their own way if they felt as if their boundary was
their communication
crossed,
piece.
because their parents were able to establish that specific communication where they called things as they were. Mm-hmm. And in regards, and this is going to be a little even more muddy when we talk about calling things as they are, with the girls in our family when they're young. How many of us have heard, like, oh, you can't wear that because your uncles are coming over, or you can't wear that because certain people are coming over. They shouldn't be coming over to my house if they're making me change.
Right. They can't come.
Why is your daughter having to change for family?
For grown ass people.
Like, why? So because, and this is important to note, because right now in the Me Too movement being so prominent in younger folks, like, you have these experiences happening to teens. You have these experiences happening to young people. Mm-hmm. And because it's happening to them, and because there was no sex education, because there was so much shame instilled, they're not going to say anything when the people closest to them were the ones who violated them.
Right.
It's the truth. It's absolutely true.
Well, Irma, before we wrap things up, I wanted to ask some fun questions.
Yes.
Kim, you want to ask some fun questions?
I don't have any fun questions.
I know.
Freaky fun questions?
I know you got.
I know. Well, we've already kind of tapped into it with you under staircases and stuff at school. So, but like, where is the craziest place you've ever had sex, being a sex educator and all that? Come on, give it to us, girl.
The craziest. Oh my gosh.
Or the most spontaneous.
I don't even want to say mine.
Oh, you gonna share?
Oh Lord. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like not crazy. It doesn't seem crazy in my head because it feels like so many people have done it. But in a movie theater, like with people, like
I have not done that, but I've heard it often.
Yeah, like it happens, but like when you're actually there, I'm like, oh my god, I actually did it. And I
don't see how you do it though.
Because
like,
it doesn't seem possible, there, right?
Or you go to one of the movies that's been out for a while and nobody there, y'all at the top.
So
I don't see how you do it.
What movie was it?
I can't remember. I didn't watch it.
She wasn't paying attention to the damn movie.
Spent all that money.
But I will say that even though that was maybe the craziest, that wasn't the most fun. The most fun was actually in a car. Cars are fun. Pretty fun. It has to be a spacious car, but
because it's
at least struggle go back.
Yes,
on the sunroof
something like can I move?
Here, just sunroof, just.
But it did The car has given me so many wonderful experiences.
You're so happy about it. Look,
Okay,
Kim,
taking me back.
since you over here.
Who watching this? Who's tuning in?
Let's check the scene. Anyways, it's recorded, so it doesn't matter.
True. It's a toss up. There's some apartments
Oh, God.
in the Mueller area that have a rooftop up there.
You're getting very specific, so we gonna know.
I'm over here
Mueller
thinking,
is
okay.
That's huge now, though.
Well, that's
This
true.
is when it was kind of new.
Okay.
And then probably the most we were young was behind a church.
Oh, no, y'all didn't.
Is this in the
The
Mueller
devil
area?
is a lie.
Kind of where what's the name? Ebenezer.
Oh my gosh, I had sex in the church parking lot once time.
Oh my God, y'all little thoughts.
We both go down. No.
You know it's my heart. you know it's my heart.
That is shame being instilled.
Lord knows my heart.
See, it's so sometimes.
It was a car. We had a sunroof.
Wow, it just
No.
popped out, just
Hey,
being
it's
nasty.
you know, it is what it is.
But church was not in session. I do.
It was-
want to-
it was
It doesn't matter, it's on the grounds. You were
a
on
night.
the Lord's grounds. I hope y'all said a prayer afterwards.
Well, it's pretty holy.
I would say for me, it was in a club bathroom. It was so much fun though.
Was it the girls?
Like in
or
the bathrooms?
Yeah, the girls'
Okay,
bathroom.
the girls. I'll always go for
It
the
was
girls.
so much fun. Like it was like 1:30 a.m. So the club was really popping. It was just the music
Y'all getting
and
it.
oh my God, it was so fun. Just lock the bathroom stall. People got to piss and shit. And, it was so much
saying nothing.
fun. And then we both had to walk out, so that was like the awkward part. But
Walk of
Did
shame.
you do like the whole like in the movies, like you fix your wig, you fix it like
yeah, we trying to get it together like how you look. Let me fix this
Did you have
right
your
here.
leg cocked
Look,
up on the
on the
side?
toilet like that.
Oh my gosh.
Real quick.
Is
It was
it
fun.
has it happened to y'all too where like with shower sex, like
Ooh, that's
how
so fun,
dangerous
too.
does it feel, but it's so much fun, but it's also like you feel like I don't want to die and slip like
It feels great, but when that
I was trying to brace myself. Hold me.
when that foot slip, look.
Give me something to hold
Don't
on
let your
to.
foot be on the corner of that shower and your ass.
Oh my
slip. Look,
gosh.
I've had a few shower scenes.
being a petite person, I'm 5'1", everyone, so I'm short, and
You are tiny.
I'm tiny. So that has been the hardest, having to like accommodate to be able to like make sure that like I reach and like he reaches and like
Toot it up the right way on today.
Look,
You got it?
is this right? Is good?
Right angle?
All right now.
I can stay up right here.
But
That is
okay, you know what?
hilarious.
I love this show because we went completely over our time. But,
Sorry, Kev.
but this is what y'all can expect pretty much
Yes.
every time y'all see us, because we're gonna try to this whole season. We want to make sure that we have a guest that can give you, you guys get our perspective, but we also want to bring in people that we consider kind of,
Knowledgeable, educated, can give
pros
you a
in their
different-
field,
right.
So, be on the lookout for that. We will be airing our next show
On the 4th.
On the 4th of
Of
November.
It'll be
Um,
bi-weekly instead of every week. We tired. We got kids.
We got
gotta do it.
children. I bet trying to be in tennis and in
Look,
swimming class
Nike
and piano.
karate,
It's a lot of
football. We got
stuff
too much
happening.
going on.
But y'all know we're gonna bring it to y'all real every single time.
Right.
And Irma, thank you so much.
And
Thank y'all
before
for
you
having
go,
me.
I know you had this book. Did you want to
Oh, yeah.
share that really quickly?
So I had like a script of like
Beautiful.
how I was going to like talk, but the way things went was actually way
very
better.
raw.
Yes, a
Organic.
lot better anyway.
I told you.
I loved it. But I wanted to talk about one of my favorite books called Pleasure Activism. Okay, can you see? It is by Adrienne Marie Brown, and she is one of the people that I have looked up to when it has come to like my own sexual journey, my own journey in regards to like who I am, in regards to gender, in regards to kinks. All of the umbrella of sex education can be found in this book, and it is actually such a fun book to read. One of the chapters is actually like let me see, like, for example, liberating your fantasies, pornography and accountability, confessions of a queer sex goddess.
What
like,
is weed on, weed off?
because she also
Shaving?
all of the things, because she also talks about how weed, what you were saying earlier, how weed can also be self-care, and how like some drug use can be a part of self-care, like in the correct form, and like all of these people and all of and then you have people like shaming and all of that. So it's just literally a wonderful book. So if you are interested in like diving into your sexual health journey and to being able to undo some shame and just kind of like start diving into that and navigating it, I definitely suggest Pleasure Activism as a good start.
Awesome. I'm looking for a new book to read, so I'll have to check it out. Awesome. Well, Irma, thank you once again for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you follow her on Twitter. Is that Twitter? I mean, on Instagram. Is that Instagram and Twitter? Do you have a Twitter?
Yes, that is my Instagram and my Twitter handle. So you
Okay.
can find me on both, and the same content that y'all saw here is the same way I'm on
Didn't
social
y'all
media.
love her? Like,
she follows
I
me.
loved it. You are a beautiful spirit, and you're hilarious. Like, I love it.
And she loves Meg Thee Stallion too.
Yes.
I was at the ACL one where she missed it. I was mad
I
that
would've
one
been
day,
pissed.
but then I like was like, okay.
Yeah,
It's a relationship. It's one of those things of like, okay, you get me mad today, but tomorrow I'm gonna be
right.
fine
I'll be
with
all
you.
right.
Be a big old freak.
But I ain't gonna forget it though.
Exactly.
It's gotta be here.
Exactly.
She said she was gonna make it up to the Austin peeps though. I did
my
see her say that
She
on
did?
Twitter.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
She said she was gonna make it up to Austin.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
And the
looking
whole
We
like,
can go together and look,
Baby.
booty shorts. Look.
are you going to the Summer Walker concert?
Yes.
Next week? Me too.
I have
What is your
plans,
outfit?
so
I
I
got.
can
A
go.
Halloween
I don't have an outfit yet, but I'll figure it
Really? I'm so. Look, I told you Summer Walker is.
She's lit.
out.
It's.
So the opening person is Smelly. She's
I haven't heard of her, but my coworkers told me about her.
she's amazing. So I'm Dominican, and she's a Dominican singer from New York, and so a lot of her music is I vibe with, because a lot of the things she talks about is about Dominican culture and like how Dominican men are just trash. So I'm like, yes,
All right.
preach.
Well, I will see you there.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you once again for tuning in. Make sure you share this live. Follow us on Instagram. This was really dope.
This was a dope episode.
This was dope. But I'm Portia,
And I'm Kim.
and this is KMP Presents. Y'all have a great Monday, a great week.
Night night.
Bye.